today we're going to cover the business model canvas. Nick, tell us all about it.
It looks a bit like this. It's almost like a map of your business. Instead of making a long business plan, which you can do anyway, but to start with, it's good to create kind of like a one-page version and really like visualize it. So in terms of the 9 blocks, what you've got is you've got your customer segment, the type of customers you're trying to target, and what they're trying to do. You've got your value proposition, which is kind of like your product and how it helps your customers. You've got your channels, which is how you get your product to your customers, maybe through physical stores or through ads or through social media. Then you've got the type of relationship, so that might be a business-to-business relationship, or you might be going straight to your customer, business-to-consumer. Then you've got your key resources, which are the things that are special to your company that enable you to make your business possible. You've got what you do with those, which is the key activities. You've got your key partners, and then you've got the costs associated with all those things. But equally as well, which I've missed, is your revenue, which is how you're making money. So those 9
critical.
boxes,
That's a pretty important one right there.
Well, yeah, if you don't do that, you haven't got a viable business.
Absolutely.
So, and I think that leads on nicely to the idea that you've got these kind of 4 boxes are all around your desirability. Do they want it, basically? These 3 boxes are kind of, can we build it? And then these 2 boxes at the bottom is, well, should we? Are we going to make any money from it?
Got it. A really quick question. I've always thought about this as something you do when you first got an idea at the very beginning stages of businesses. I know that's how we see it a lot in the kind of startup world, but there's an argument to say that you use this a lot more. Do you want to talk a bit really quickly about that?
Yeah, definitely. So I've been to quite a lot of startup weekends and kind of startup events, and it's about people that haven't yet started their business, or maybe on the very early stages of it, and they use it to say, well, this is what I'm aspiring to build as my business model. And that's great, and you can totally use it in that context. But equally, another context you can use it in is going, hey, I've got my business, let's actually reflect on the business and see where we're at. So it's both a vision for the future, but also looking back. But what I would suggest is that you'd create 2 different canvases. So one to look back and one to look forward. Because that's the thing, if you put too much information on your business model canvas, it becomes a mess.
Yeah.
And what Alex Osterwalder talks about, cognitive murder.
Right.
It's so confusing when you look at it and it's just a mess of sticky notes.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is try and, as you're creating it, put all the sticky notes down. But then what you want to do is kind of take away the ones that aren't as relevant, so that you're just showing people kind of like a really clear, like straight to the point kind of version.
Brilliant.
Is that helpful?
Really helpful. Thanks so much.
So I suppose we probably should say that we've already spoken through this before recording this.
Yeah.
So that we can hopefully make it a little bit more streamlined for the recording.
Yeah, but we're going to use, again, Future Builders as the example to play out how to do a whole business model canvas. Again, we've gone through it so that we can be as quick as possible, but there's probably going to be some new things as we kind of bounce this around as well. So
definitely,
yeah, excited to do it for Future Builders again.
No, I'm excited to talk about it because I think this is such a good way to understand a business quickly. And I think we've spoken about Future Builders in a few episodes already, but this episode is going to help people really understand it quickly, I think.
Hope so.
And I think just one other thing that's come to mind is that with all of this, and I think this is ongoing throughout the business, but certainly more in the early stages, is that what we're doing is we're actually mapping out the assumptions that we have for our business. So we've made assumptions that, for example, that we make revenue this way and this is a good way to do it,
right?
Or that we're making assumption that these are the type of customers that we're trying to go for, and that this is their needs. We're making assumption this is the best channel. So what we're trying to do is constantly question these assumptions or validate them, basically. So yeah, that's just a point.
And actually, even just getting these assumptions out of your head and onto a sticky note, onto paper, means that you're freeing up that cognitive load. Your brain is there to come up with the ideas, not to store them. Right?
Physicalizing it, externalizing it. I think what David Allen calls it is distributed cognition.
Yes,
well.
yeah. But also it means that you can action some of these things. You can turn those hypotheses into tests further down the line so that you could then do some things like assumption mapping or hypothesis mapping and focus on the things that you're most uncertain about. So I think it's a super valuable thing.
From my perspective, the customers that you're trying to go for are kind of new in their career or looking for a new career.
Yeah.
And actually, you might summarise that as 1 billion people who need to upskill or reskill.
Yeah, exactly. I guess not necessarily just new in their career. We're not just talking about millennials or anything like that. We're talking about a fairly broad people, but the people that we're really targeting that I think really need to have this are the people that don't have that support network currently. So that's definitely...
So it could actually be much broader.
It could be much broader, yeah. So I'm always reluctant to kind of go, really niche target demographics.
So therefore, definitely better to say 1 billion people who need to upskill and reskill then.
Definitely 1 billion, but at the moment, for sure, we're definitely... The more important focus for us is early adopters of cool technology things that want to improve their lives.
Okay, brilliant. And that tends to be, again, for now, startups and scale-ups that don't necessarily have HR, probably up to around 250 people.
Yeah.
Excellent. And the product that you're kind of helping them with, or the value proposition is, it's the Future Builders platform.
Yeah.
And what the value proposition is having the right skills at the right time.
Yes.
And currently a lot of that is around the learning playlists,
Yep.
but there's a lot more to come.
Yeah, we've gone, our go-to-market strategy or go-to-market product strategy has been around the playlists idea. But actually I see this very much as a feature with a bigger feature set that we're going to be able to build over the next few weeks and months that will have recommendations really baked into it, so you get the best content, you get rid of the noise, and you get the signal coming through of what's really important for you.
Brilliant. And so the key channels are through paid campaigns on social, but also a lot of content marketing through the playlist links, and also you could maybe class this as a channel through the team accounts where people, like the businesses that buy it, then pass it on to the employees, but then they're maybe using it in all areas as well. So we're nearly there. The customer relationships are B2C, but also B2B, because you can go straight to the consumer, then download the app and use it, but also sell to businesses that they can get their teams in, and that's really where you're going to get a lot of scale as well, I think. The how you're making money is freemium to begin with, a subscription as software as a service kind of model, but also some advertising that could come on
potentially,
maybe, but that associated to learning.
What I don't want to do is go down an advertising route and it just kills the platform. I'm just not interested in doing that.
Great.
So I'll do it if it's the right thing and if it serves our users.
Great. And the key things, the key resources that you've got are your mobile and web app. You're venture backed, and importantly, it's got you and your brain, I think, which is the experience of the teaching experience and the entrepreneurial experience as well, creating and growing ventures. So the key things that you're doing, the key activities, or you're building the app or continuously updating it and improving it. You've got your marketing, growing this thing, and then the costs associated to that are the people for the marketing and the app building, but also the paid growth channels.
Yeah, exactly.
And then finally, we've got the partners, which is thankfully here, Founders Factory, which we're able to record this here in the podcast studio, but also they're giving you a lot of support.
Yeah, amazing support, yeah. It's almost like you've got this support team behind you that are kind of pushing you on, but also challenging you as well. So it's been really helpful.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And then the last one is your early clients.
Yeah, so valuable. I'm trying to have as many conversations with those clients as I can, and also conversations with end users as well, because there's always that, you want to make sure that you're finding out what a buyer wants to buy, but also what your end user's experience should be and what they're really looking for and the pains they're looking to solve. Early clients are so invaluable at this stage for us,
Brilliant. So that's your business model canvas for where you are now. And we also talked a little bit about the future there at certain points.
Yeah.
How has this exercise been for you, and what's it helped you understand?
But what this does is it gets through a lot of that noise and all of this confusion and the complexity that's constantly revolving around my head, and gets through to exactly the signal and the specific stuff that we need to be focusing on. I can already see stuff on here, and it's making me think about things on here that I need to be doing, focusing a bit more of my attention on. So that idea of prioritization as well is really key.
I should probably say as well that the Business Model Canvas is a tool created by Strategyzer. It's definitely worth checking out the book, Value Proposition Design. Highly recommended if you want to find out more about it.
And testing business ideas as well.
And testing business ideas as well.
Well, we always come back to our book of the year, right?
It's our book of the year. So definitely try both of those books. If you've got some value from this session, if you've enjoyed it, please like the video. Smash it if that's the kind of thing you're into. And we'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Perfect. Thank you.